welcome back to the buttonhole series. In today's video, I wanted to go over the secrets to a fabulous buttonhole. And the secret is all in the setup and the fibers that you're using. So, the setup, you can interface if you want to. I rarely do this, but it can be helpful if you have really lightweight stuff or if you have a fiber that's just going to unravel, whether that's lightweight or, sorry, we've got some beeping in the background. Now, when you go to cut your buttonhole, you have to have a very sharp instrument. So whether you're using little embroidery scissors, make sure those suckers are sharp. You don't want to be fighting with your scissors to cut your fabric. That will create a hot mess in a hurry, and you will have the fibers or the fabric it just sort of gets mauled at, and it's not. You want a clean cut. Or you can use a buttonhole chisel. Make sure your buttonhole chisel is sharp. The buttonhole chisel, I will say, doesn't have to be as super sharp as the scissors do, because the chisel is just going down on the fabric. So it's not like it's not tugging at it. With scissors, if it doesn't cut sharply, then the scissors, because it's got that wedge, it ends up tugging at your fabric. So the chisel, it's more forgiving than the scissors are if it's not as super sharp. Another secret is beeswax, and beeswax is wonderful for a number of hand-sewn applications, but particularly for a hand-done buttonhole, beeswax can be very helpful. You can use that beeswax to seal up the raw edges that you just cut, and that helps, when you have a fabric that's going to unravel very easily, it helps just give you a seal. That way when you're working your hand-done buttonhole, it doesn't make things worse. It just kind of provides a temporary seal for you while you're working those stitches out. The other thing is that it's wonderful to put on the fabric that you're going to do your stitches with. And the icing on the cake, and I don't always do this because I make a lot of play garments and things, and I just sort of do the buttonhole in the evening time and whatever. But when you run your fiber through through the beeswax, and then you run it over an iron, that is the icing on the cake, and your fiber is super strong. It stitches wonderfully. The sucker stands up on its own. It makes a world of difference running an iron over it. Like I said, I don't do it every time because I do a lot of play garments and things for the kiddos where I just whip together the buttonhole at the end of the day. But for the finer clothing, that I make, I do take the time to put to run an iron over it. So I'm making buttonhole videos, sweetie. Alright, so another thing that sets you up for success. Is machine stitching around the outline. And I know you're going to be like, you're just talking all this time about hand-done buttonholes, and you're talking about your sewing machine. So first of all, my sewing machine can do a straight stitch and doesn't eat the fabric. I don't just sweat over it all the whole 9 yards. The other thing is that the sewing machine is that it does a fairly good job of not shifting your fabric, so it does a stitch up and down, and it can put those stitches of your lining and of your fabric together, and that's what you're looking for. And the other thing is that it makes very tiny stitches, and that's what you want to do, is you want to turn your stitch length down to a very tiny stitch, and that also helps with keeping the fibers of your fabric together and unraveling when you go to do your buttonhole stitch. So what fibers do you use? I absolutely love silk buttonhole twist. It absolutely takes the cake for me on the best fiber to use, particularly when you're dealing with medium weight or heavy weight. The sucker can just make a buttonhole almost by itself. It's really magical stuff. You can look at something where you're like, I've gotten into into a heap of mess with this jacket or thick coat or something, this thick fabric in front of me, and how in the world am I going to put a buttonhole into it? The silk buttonhole twist, it just solves all those issues. Then there's pearl cotton. I really like pearl cotton for the everyday medium weight things. It's very affordable, it's readily available, and it does a great job. It's a strong fiber, it does a great job at doing a buttonhole. Then for lightweight fabrics, I like tatting thread. I also like, DMC floche, cotton embroidery you could also use. I really prefer the tatting thread. It's strong, it's very fine, and it can put those stitches of your lining and of your fabric together, and that's what you're looking for. And the other thing is that it makes very tiny stitches. You and it just looks really nice. So those are the fibers I like. That's the secret to having a fabulous buttonhole. This is a whole series on my channel. For more videos, click over here. If you have any questions, of course, put them down in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. And as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope to catch y'all next time.